it's me again. Hi everyone, I'm Andrew Hochradel, and I will be working with you today to create some anti-design. Ooh, so edgy, so cool. We're doing anti-design today, which basically is a design trend that is like intentionally bad and intentionally chaotic. Which, if you ever watch one of my live streams, you know intentionally bad and intentionally chaotic is the only thing I know how to do. So we are going to be hanging out today. If you have questions, this is a live stream. Unless you're watching the replay, then thanks for watching. Comment down below what you learned. If you are watching the live stream, it's live. Ask your questions. Please let me know if you have any suggestions as well as we go along. Let's hop in and let's talk about what is anti-design. So here we go. This is what anti-design is. This is kind of the vibe that we're going to be going for today. I just searched anti-design on Behance to get some inspiration, to get some kind of vibes going. Anti-design to me is like intentionally bad, very chaotic, a lot of this kind of collage work, and even some of this stuff that feels like techie that is really wrong. So we're going to play around with a bunch of techniques, see what we can create. There's going to be a lot of blends, a lot of experimental stuff to see what happens. So Chad, if you ever have a suggestion or an idea of like, what if we did this and that and this, or what if we pieced these things together, please, by all means, by every individual mean, please let me know. So the first thing that I want to do is I want to play around with trying to get this kind of effect. So this effect that we see right here, where are you? There we go. Right here. I want to play around with this effect and see what I can do to get this kind of warped type. I think a lot of people would maybe scan this and print this, but I think that we can use Adobe Firefly to actually create this. I have an idea. It might not work, but chat, we're going to start there and we're going to give it a shot. There is literally a person living inside my eye at the moment. 1 second, chat. Okay, we're here. We're back. We're together. Okay, all right, let's hop in, and here's what I want to do. I'm going to go to Firefly, and we are going to try to create a base that we are going to use as a displacement map for our typography. Crazy idea, but it could work. So we're going to go to firefly.adobe.com. We are going to pull up the text to image here, and I am just going to, and somebody's saying, yes, it looks like the punk aesthetic, 100% looks very punk. So I'm going to type in here, we are going to do white geometric plastic geometric, there we go, and maybe let's do like dimensional 3D and see what that looks like. So what I'm trying to do here, and I'm trying to envision a client that would want that style. It's actually very on trend right now. It's very on trend for like a younger generation audience. And by younger, like some of you who are watching are like, it's me. Yes, it's you. So I'm doing white geometric plastic dimension 3D just to see what we can get here. And I am going to do a widescreen. And what I'm thinking in my workflow is that we're going to generate some stuff in Adobe Firefly. Then I'm going to take it into Adobe Illustrator to use the Mockup tool. And the Mockup tool should grab a lot of these edges and try to make it really weird. So I'm going to do maybe flat, and let's maybe do pattern and see what comes up here. So we're just refining a little bit, and it's going to keep generating for me, keep creating these different versions. And I think that we'll get somewhere here that we want. Yes, perfect, 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 perfect. So what I want is I'm just looking for something that has a lot of different angles, and I'm just looking for the values of the black and white. So what I'm gonna do is I am going to go ahead and copy this image, and then I'm going to bring it over into Illustrator. So if you would like to design and create with me today, you can do so by grabbing the link down in the description. That link has this gorgeous color palette for you, as well as these swatches of these gradients that we are going to be using today to create our graphics. So I'm going to paste this in here, and today we're probably going to be working on some typography and some experiments and some like this anti-design promo for a new magazine that is launching with Adobe Live. We are launching a magazine. I've been hard at work with a bunch of incredible artists, your mod being one of them, on creating a zine that will be available to all of you in the future. So it is called Half Page is the name of the zine. This is an exclusive scoop right here. Maybe I'll give you a preview at the end of the stream. screen. If you're good, I'll give you a preview. So it's called Half Page. So we're going to create some promo materials and just kind of experiment with some looks today. And what I'm going to do is I am going to just type out Half Page here, and we are going to choose a font that I think looks good. I want something big and bulky because I think that I'm going to want that here. And sure, Adriana. And so it's saying a magazine. Yes, a zine. So we have Half Page here. I am just going to make it this super ugly red for now because I want to see if this works. Chat, I am not confident that this is going to work, but it is a very interesting workflow. So let's see what happens here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the Mockup tool. If you haven't used Mockup tool, it is integrated into Illustrator now. It is just a thing that you can use. And I'm going to crop this in to the side. Again, generated using Adobe Firefly on the web. Then we brought it in here. And all I need to do is select these two images. And I'm going to go to Object. Then I'm going to go down to Mockup Beta and hit Make. And what it should do is it's going to try to find all the angles in that image and then place my art onto it. There are a lot of angles. And so it's generating a mesh. It's generating a map. So it's mapping it out and then generating the mesh and creating the mockup for us. Let's get that vector art on there. Oh, it hit all those angles. Very weird. Okay, cool. Okay, hold on. Okay, I'm not mad about it. So this is exactly what I wanted it to do, is I wanted it to kind of find weird angles and see if I could kind of pull it around to different areas that would make this look interesting and give the type like an odd, crazy look. A really, really great, easy way to distort type is to just create something like this and then kind of pull it around until you find a place where it's still readable, but it may not necessarily be as legible. Okay, I like this here, but I am going to rotate it. Okay, and then maybe pull it. There we go. That's it right there. So I think that looks pretty good. And someone's saying it's going to torment my mind if we're going to get half a glimpse. Yes, I might show you. We'll see what happens. So we have this here, and I think it looks pretty good. I'm going to go Object Expand, and let's see what happens here. It does expand that into a vector. And so now I can come in and grab this vector. I'm going to copy it and then paste it over here into my document. And check it out. Y'all, literally took us a few seconds and we've created a really, really cool typographic effect without having to do any scanning or any of that stuff. So I'm gonna come back here and we're gonna do one more. And this one is going to be a crumpled paper. Let's do white, let's do texture, and let's try that. So we're using Firefly to generate these images and then using Mockup to basically get that. And someone's saying this actually saves steps compared to Photoshop. Yeah. And because this is a live stream and because I love you and because I want to have the best for all of you, Carol, I am going to show you how to do that in Photoshop. And we can do a little side by side and see what happens. If you know what you're trying to get, understanding the tools is so important because you can get there faster. Again, I usually would not use that workflow. I would use the workflow that I'm about to show you all. But it's sometimes easier to do it another way. So here's what I'm going to do. I am going to come back to my screen. 1 second. Hold, please. Hold, please. Wait for it. Hold on. Wait. Sorry. I'm trying to copy something. You know how Photoshop shows like, here's your like most recent documents. There's like stuff that I'm like, I can't show those. Okay, here we go. NDAs. So I copied my image over here with the texture and we are going to paste that in. So I'm just going to paste my image texture right here. And I think that looks pretty good. And here's how you would do that effect in Photoshop is I would take my type that I have, which I have right here. I'm glad I made a copy of it. We're just going to align these so it's the same. Looks good to me. And I'm going to copy and paste this into Photoshop. So we're going to do a couple little augmentations here. And this is the process to how this would work in Photoshop. And make this really, really large. And what I do is I actually would save this background as a displacement map. So we're going to hit Control-Shift-S, and then we are going to save that as a displacement map. So I'm just going to save it on my desktop, and I'm going to do paper displace. And we'll need to save that as a PSD. We're going to hit save, and now we have a displacement map, which is basically going to tell us the object that we put the displacement map on, it's going to use it as a filter, and it's going to move the object pixels in a certain amount based on the lightness or darkness of the pixel that is being shown. So again, when we're looking for black and white images, we only want to look at the values, because we know that the darker values down here are going to make it look like it's shifted a lot, and the lighter values will make it look like it hasn't shifted as much. So with our art selected here, we're going to go to filter, we're going to go to distort, and then displace. And from there, we have our horizontal and vertical scales. You can up these and it will look a lot more displaced. We'll start at 10. We're gonna hit OK and then find our paper displacement map that we made right there. Hit open, and there you go. You can see that it's actually broken pretty hard on this black edge, and that's because we are trying to displace it, and it's darker, so it moves it more. So I don't like the amount that it moved that. I want it to do more. So I'm gonna go to filter, we are going to go to distort, and then we are going to hit displace and come up to about 50 by 50. So we'll hit OK, and this is really gonna throw it. Yeah. So now we got some really cool effects on some of these elements here, especially down here. And we have this cool kind of textured effect, which I really like, and I think that we can use in some places here in Photoshop. But what I'm going to do is I'm also going to try this exact same effect over here in Illustrator with the other workflow that we had created. Sorry. Paul, get out of here. We love Paul in the stream. Paul popped up and wanted to teach me about using text to vector, but that's not what the stream is about. I'm sorry, Paul. I'm so sorry. You come and join us for another stream. Okay, so here we have our texture right here, and I'm going to do that same effect that we did on the other one. The same process is where we select both of these, and then we're going to go to Object. We're going to go to Mockup Beta and hit Make. And again, anti-design to me is a lot of, ooh, okay, cool. So yes, it has hit the edges a little bit better there with this. It's not finding it quite as good. Ooh, actually, it's kind of cool right there. Okay, we're going to scale it down. And then I am going to rotate it. And again, I'm using R and S to scale and rotate right there. Very easy to kind of play around with it on this document. Ooh, I'm not mad about that. So let's go ahead, and again, all we need to do is Object, Expand. We're gonna hit OK. We can ungroup that, and now we can just grab this text off of here, and now we have two really cool effects for us to use with a type treatment. Again, very, very easy to create this really wild look. All right, so let's continue on, and let's show one more thing that is kind of synonymous to me with anti-design, and that is none other than gradients. Gradient. You'll see a lot of stuff with really weird, unconventional kind of color schemes. And so what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to grab all these colors, and we are going to throw them into a library, because I know that I am going to want to use these in Photoshop as well. So we're going to click on libraries right here, and then we are going to make a new library that is going to just be anti. Get out of here. Not that one. All right, create new library. This is going to be anti. So from here, I can just select these, and we are going to add these in as fill colors. And yes, gradients like you've never seen before. We're not even doing gradients. We're doing gradient maps. Yeah, we're getting crazy. And let's go ahead and use some of the paper textures that we had in the gradient maps to maybe create some graphics with that paper texture that we had. All right, so we have all of our colors in here. We have our gradients here, and I'm gonna show you how to create gradients a couple different ways here in Adobe Illustrator. So something else that happens with anti-design, I think, is a lot of geometric shapes. So let's create some geometric shapes very quickly, very easily. And I'm just going to use this kind of dark blue black as my background. And the first thing that I want to do is create some simple geometric shapes. And the one that I want to do is like this cool, like oval world kind of look. And so with our shape selected here, we are going to add in a stroke and then take away the fill right here. And we're gonna make this a pretty large stroke. And we're gonna have one there. Now we're gonna be using a lot of blends during our anti-design as well. And we're going to be using this hotkey, Control C and then Control Shift V. That will take you to Edit and Paste in Place. What that means is now there is an object that is pasted exactly where the other one was. So it's a great way to just make an extra copy on top. And we're going to pull this all the way in here. I'm going to make it really small. And the reason is that I want to make kind of this world weird gradient look. And let's go green to blue. And this is another way to create really, really cool gradients, is we're going to go with both of these selected to Object, Blend, and Blend Options. We're going to go to Specified Steps, and let's do 3 here. We'll hit OK, and then we'll go back to Object, Blend, and Make. Yeah, that's pretty cool. So what we can do too is we can actually double click into that and we can send this one to the back, and that will give us this really rad kind of like, looks like it's giving some dimension, right? It looks like it's kind of dimensioning. And here's another little trick that we're going to do that I rather enjoy, is we are going to take this top object. I'm going to double click in here and grab the top object. I'm just going to copy. And then we're going to paste in place again, edit, paste in place. And watch this. What I'm going to do is we're going to paste in place one more time. Edit, paste in place. And I'm going to delete the top anchor point using the direct selection tool from this one. Hey, Jacob, thanks for joining us. And then I am going to move that down, and I'm going to delete the bottom anchor point from this one. So now we should have like 3 different versions here. So we've got the base one that is our blend that's happening. And then we have one on top, one on the bottom. And let's go ahead and move these together. So here's what's gonna happen, chat. This is where the magic happens. Ooh, I'm so excited. So we are going to send both of these. We are going to group them together. Actually, we're not going to group them together. We are going to make a blend. So with both these selected, we're going to go to Object, Blend, Make. Hold, please. Chat, what am I doing wrong here? I want it to blend to the other. I want it to blend like vertically. Hold, please. I need to blend to a center. I need to blend to a center. That's what it is. Okay. So chat, let's do this. What I need to do is I am going to make a line that just goes across the center here. And I think this is going to work. So I want this object, these objects to blend together. So let's see what happens. That's exactly what I want. So I need to make a center for it to blend to, and then a way for it to blend out. So we have green, blue. So I'm going to make this middle orange. And then we're going to select the top here. We're going to go to Object, Blend, Make. And it's too many steps. So we're going to Object, Blend, Blend Options. We're going to set this to maybe 1. Yeah, let's do 1. We're going to hit OK there. And then I am going to just send that to the back behind our other piece. Right? Kind of cool. Kind of cool. So we're getting some dimension around the back there. And now I'm going to do the same thing with this bottom piece, as we are going to create that blend. We're going to go to Object, Blend, Blend Options, change this to 1, I think is what we had for the other one, and hit OK. There we go. And now we're going to send that back as well. So now we've got this cool dimension and this cool, like, really weird piece coming through that I am very, very much into. I am loving this vibe. It's a little, it went on a little too far. That's fine. What are you doing over there? Get in there. All right, close enough. So that is one way to create some gradients. If I wanted to, I could make these all the same color, which I think is what I'm going to do, because I forgot what I was showing you, and I want to make sure that I can show you the thing that I was going to. Right now, the stroke is all 40, so I'm just going to take the stroke down on here, and actually we'll change the stroke on all of those. So that looks pretty good to me, but I actually just want there to be not as much of a look on the back here. So I am going to take this down. There we go. That'll give us some dimension. Cool. All right, so we got some dimension here. I am going to add in just a circle all the way around it with that darker kind of black color, just so we have a background. And let's show you how to create some gradients with this. So we're going to select our whole blend here. We're going to go to Object, Expand, and check it out. It has expanded all of these into strokes. Not what we want. We're going to go to Object, Expand one more time, and now it is expanded into fills. We can use our Pathfinder tool to make that all one shape, and now we're going to use the magic, the absolute magic of gradients. Ooh. I like that the music stopped when I said that. So we're going to click here on the gradients, and we are actually going to be using a radio gradient here. So we're going to use we're going to use a radial gradient, and we're going to click, and you'll see now we have this really cool radial gradient. When you work with gradients, you can double click and then use the colors that are in your swatches. I don't have my colors in my swatches yet. Look at this, I'm a noob here. Chat, let me know where you're watching from. I see a lot of you hanging out in chat, so let me know where you were watching the stream from. Would be nice to see you. All right, so we're gonna grab our object here, grab the gradient tool, and then we are just going to double click in here, and we are going to grab some of these colors to create like this really odd, weird, cool vibe design. Love a good red and green. I think it looks good. But you know what would look better is if there were 3 colors or even 4 colors to this gradient. So we can select it, and then we are going to go right here to freeform gradient. This is a newish tool, but each of these pieces that you click on is going to be a different color. So you can click here, and then you can cycle through, and we can do some orange here, and that orange is going to look great if it comes into some red. And then over here, let's pop it out with some blue. And so you can really play around with creating these gradients that just pop off the page that, again, just have the extra oomph to make your design really pop. This is looking cool, cool, cool. Not mad about it. So think of these as water balloons. Each time you click to put a point, it is a water balloon filled with an amount of water. As you pull in this node right here, it's going to be less water, but if you pull it out, it's a lot of water, and when it hits, it's going to explode and splatter that color all over your shape. And so if you have a fuller water balloon, it's a lot of color. A little bit less is a little bit of color. So you can play around with those and kind of practice where you're dropping them in your shape and then how much you are filling them with that color. So now we've got this really cool icon using that freeform gradient. Cool. So something else that I like to see in anti-design a lot is, let's come back to our reference here. Did I close our reference? No. Did I close our reference of Behance? Oh, I went to Firefly. There it is. Something else that I see is this kind of like weird gradient, and we'll do some blends in a second, but I think like this kind of color. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use, I'm actually just going to use Firefly, and use generative fill over in Photoshop, and let's create a poster, like a kind of cover for our poster. So I'm going to do this as we're going to do pixels, and I'm going to do just vertical. So we're going to go maybe, let's go 1680 by 1920. What a weird resolution. That looks like a page, right? That looks like a page. Somebody saying from in front of my laptop. Yes, I am watching from in front of a green screen. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of intentionally make a weird looking image. And stick with me, chat. I know it's going to look weird here, but I'm going to use generative fill to create an odd, weird looking image. So generative fill, we're going to do a background first, and I am going to do just a brick wall textured with paint and graffiti. Graffiti? 2 T's? Graffiti. 2 F's? Chat, help me. So we're going to generate that here using Adobe Firefly. And we are going to try to make this weird and build stuff on top of it using generative fill to kind of make it this grungy, odd. Oh, it already went there. Okay, so things that are a lot of colors are actually going to be better for us. And I think that one's too close, but I do like this one a lot. This is a really cool texture, especially for what we're going to be doing. So what we're going to do now is I want to have like a person kind of on this, but I'm going to try to have like a person and then like do like a tear. And so we're going to go to Firefly, and we're going to see what we can generate here. We are going to do, printed picture of a person, torn paper in half. So let's see what happens. I want like a picture of a person. I can do this manually. We can get that like torn paper look, but I want to see if I can get a picture of a person. And then we're going to use a whole bunch of gradient maps. We're going to remove background and kind of put it in there. Okay. Maybe we can do portrait. Let's see what happens. We may have to build this piece by piece. I may just do like portrait of a person and then build out the torn paper. Okay. All right, so let's do a yelling person with a mohawk hairstyle. We're definitely getting like the punk vibes in this poster. And chat, as always, if you have suggestions, if you have ideas, please feel free to let me know. Toss them into the chat. That would be great. Ooh, I'm not mad about this. We're using this one. So I'm going to copy this image and we're going to drop it into our work here in Photoshop. I am going to blow it up quite a bit. And then we are going to remove the background. You're saying, Andrew, the hands look a little bit weird or whatever. Yes, that's fine. For this poster and for this style that we're trying to do, totally fine. And so what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to add a gradient map on the top of this. This gradient map is going to be insane. And this is another great way to have those anti-design kind of vibes come through. So we're going to go to anti and we have our colors here. We're going to start with this green. And let's do red. Why not? So green and red and green should never be seen as like a thing in design. No, not here. So we're going to do a gradient map and it is going to map everything into this really weird random color scheme, which is great. But I want to grab more colors, such as the colors that we have used in the other pieces. So we can do user color. Right now, can I sample from another? Whatever, I'll just grab the hex code, which is totally fine. So I can come over here and I'm just going to grab the hex code. And I know that I want to have pretty much all of these colors, like a full spectrum of colors here. And I'm just going to paste these colors in. And as you paste, you can see that it's starting to get really wild because it's picking up more and more of those different tones. And that's why I wanted that background to have all of the different tones in it. So let's see what we can get here. I think that's good. Yes. Yes. And I need one more color here, which would probably be a pink. So let's do this hot pink as well. All right, so we got hot pink is gonna go right here. Yeah. All right, not mad about it. Not mad about it at all. So we're gonna, okay, looks pretty crazy. There's a lot going on here, which is fine. This is really an alternative magazine style. It totally is. And what's cool is if I generate more stuff in here, it actually is going to keep that gradient map there. So right here, I actually don't want this to be an ear. I'm going to make this into a pineapple. So I'm going to kind of just grab a selection here and we are going to do pineapple. Is that how you spell pineapple? I feel like it'd be spelled a little bit differently. So we're gonna do pineapple here and then see what happens. I also may pull that dark black piece. There we go. Okay, so it definitely gave like a really weird texture back here, which is what I love. Let's maybe grab here. Let's try to do over this mouth. Let's do, chat, what do we want to see? I need some suggestions here for what we could do here. And maybe let's do like mechanical gears or something in this zone. So let's do mechanical gears. Gears. And we're really trying to make it weird. And what's nice is because we can make it as weird as we want. We don't have to worry about blending seams. We don't have to worry about it really looking any certain way. Okay, I'm not mad. I'm not mad about it looking like it does. So I am going to grab this dark piece right here, this dark color from Photoshop, because I do think we need something to kind of ground it down. And we're going to put that on the gradient map. Somebody says add a pineapple. We did. We just added a pineapple. It's right here. Okay, so I'm going to do my low lights. Those are my highlights. All right, let's put highlights over here. This, we need our low lights here to go to that black. There we go. That helps grounds it a little. That helps to ground it just a little bit. And now it's not as intense. We've just got a little bit more of that kind of cool effect. I actually liked how much blue we had. Let's pull a more blue in. There we go. Cool. All right, great. I think it's looking okay. I do, and Sarah's saying I'm not paying attention. You heard me say pineapple and you're like, oh, what about a pineapple? What I want to do now is let's maybe start adding in some type here. And let's add in our half page that we have created. Yes, and the black helps a lot. And again, we're trying to make this intentionally bad. I know that you watch Adobe to kind of get tips and tricks. This is one of those, but the goal of this is to definitely be intentionally bad. Oh, no way. No way. Okay, chat, I didn't know that it did this, but basically it made, this is the map. It gave me the map of all the different pieces that it was pulling out of that template when we created the mockup. That's really cool. And now we just have the type. Wait. Chat. That's the map, and here's the type. Oh, it's so cool. Okay, that's really cool. I didn't know it could do that. I am so excited. Okay, and so what we're gonna do with this is I actually want to make this into an outline. And again, chat, we're trying weird stuff. We're trying to make this look so crazy. And so it's saying, is enter here to watch office hours intentionally bad is a normal style? Yes, this is my zone. This is 100% my zone. Can you use Comic Sans? Yes, totally, 100%. And actually, let's take a look. I want to show somebody who does this style really, really well. He's been on Adobe Live before, and let me grab it. Permanent glue. There he is. So this is Jesse Nyberg. Does this style really, really, really well. I'm going a little bit crazier than he usually does. This has a bit more structure to it. But this kind of like weird gradients, torn pieces, lots of this posterized kind of look. He does it really, really well. We're definitely going overboard here because I want to show you the tips and kind of techniques to do a lot of this stuff. But this is a really, really great person to follow if you want to see more of this kind of style. And somebody's saying, can you use Comic Sans? Yes, he actually did a poster. Where is it? Comic Sans. He did a poster about Comic Sans and how you can like use bad fonts for good things. I don't know where it is, but he's done one. If you can find it, please drop it in chat. But yeah, Jesse, really great person to follow for this kind of weird style that we're working with today. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a blend again. It's going to be insane because we're going to do a blend of these two images. And thank you for that link, Val. Thank you. We're going to blow this up and watch what happens here. It's going to be crazy. We are going to fill both of these with white. And what we're going to do, oops, white. There we go. What we're going to do is I'm going to select both of these. I think that I probably need it to be wider for the actual, to go on our page. I'm going to select both of these and then go to Object, and we are going to go to Blend. Yes. And somebody's saying, reminds of David Carson. Yes, absolutely. And we're going to make a blend there. And what it's going to do is it's going to blend each of those together. Now, if we wanted to, again, it's kind of guessing at what the shapes look like. We're trying to make some really weird stuff. If we wanted to, we could take the stroke off and just use colors. So we could do a maybe hot pink at the front, and then the back, we are going to do a yellow. Yeah, right? It's pretty crazy. It's pretty crazy. Let's go ahead and add a white stroke on it. See if we can get that aligned to the outside and then up the stroke. Not mad about it. Again, we're trying to make really weird stuff, and we are, boy, are we doing it. Boy, is it working. I had to sit on my foot. Chat, do you sit on your feet? Like, do you like cross your legs when you work? I always am like sitting on my leg when I work. So we got this here. Oh my goodness. And we're going to change a blending mode here. I think hard light is looking interesting. Ooh, vivid light actually looks really cool. And we're just scrolling through here to see if anything looks good. I think I like vivid light the best. Boom. This is insane. Boy, are we making. Yes, we are making all of the things. Okay, cool. I'm not mad about this at all. This is looking cool. Okay, so let's go ahead, and I think that I want to do something around the edges. So I'm going to generative fill in some like pieces around the edges and kind of just see what we can come up with. And I'm just going to do like a wrench. And chat, I need random things to put in this so that I can kind of have the look. I also am going to do some effects to this to make it look more printed and more like paper-y. And so we'll get there in just a second. 35, my goodness. Okay, we got our wrench in. That's great. Now let's go ahead and try to do another thing here. And let's like maybe grab just a selection like that. And here, let's do a jewelry. Nice. So let's do, yeah, diamond necklace. And let's do diamond necklace and maybe like ruby gems. And chat saying, yes, it is insane. I agree, but is it working? That's the thing, is like, is it working? I would say no right now, but I know where I'm going with it. I'm trusting the process. And so right now, not quite working, but we are getting closer to the effect that we want, which is this kind of weird collaged together, super bright vibe. And again, we're laying the foundations and we're going to refine it to be exactly what we want it to be. And somebody's saying add a stapler. Okay. Stapler? How do you spell stapler? Okay. I had to Google stapler. Okay. So we're gonna generate in that selection a stapler right there. My goodness. All right, so you generative fill in there. We still have the face here. The hair got crazy. There's a pineapple back here. There's a little bit going on. There we go. Give me more. Okay, I guess that's fine. Like the top of a stapler. I think that's okay. I think that it's interesting the way that it's doing right there. Okay, so let's go ahead and start pulling this into a zone that maybe looks not so crazy. So what I'm going to do first is I'm just going to group all these things together. And let's turn off the gradient map and see what happens. Are you ready? So this is the source image that we've ended up with. This is all the things that we've added. It's a really crazy looking wild. We turn that gradient map on, gives us this really cool look. And then we toss our type on top of it to make it really pop and make it really wild. So from here, what we're going to do is we're going to start kind of playing around with just doing some effects and some augmentations to this. So I'm going to hit Command J to just make a copy. And from here, I'm going to start playing around with some of our filter gallery. And the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to come in and I'm going to put a posterize on this. And posterize is just going to give us kind of, you can see, let me turn this on and off. You can see posterize is really giving us those hard edges. And that's what I want. I want that like crisp, hard edge there. We can turn on more levels, less levels. We are just going to do 2 levels here, actually. Not mad about it. Let's see what 3 looks like. All right, 3 gets better. Maybe 4 is where we want to go. Okay, so let's say 4 is where we want to go. I think that looks good. And from there, we are going to also add in maybe a threshold. And let's see what happens when we add a threshold. It's going to make it black and white, but this may be good to kind of add a good base of the things that are supposed to be very dark. So what you can do with threshold is we can actually change right here what that threshold is going to be. And it's going to take away our darkest color. And this is going to help us bring back some life into this design so that it doesn't look as intense. So I think somewhere up here, I think doing a linear burn, it's limited our color palette a little bit, but I think it's better. Chat, what do we think? Do we think no or yes? I think yes. I think the black there is really adding in a lot of kind of dimension to bring it back into a little bit more of a usable space. So something else I'm going to do is, this is all too white for me. Like it's very, very crisp. Is I'm going to add in some noise because I don't want anything. I want it to look like it has been printed and torn and pulled together. So I'm going to add in some noise. And the way that I like to add in noise is to add a new layer. So we are going to go to Control-Shift-N to add a new layer. And when this comes up right here, we are going to go to color. Sure, whatever color we want. We're going to go to mode. That's where I really wanted to go. We're going to change it to overlay and then fill overlay neutral color 50% gray. We're going to hit OK, and it's not going to look like anything. And the reason it's not going to look like anything is because it is 50% gray and overlaid. So anything less than 50% gray is going to be brighter. Anything less than 50% gray is going to be darker. Anything more than 50% gray is going to make it lighter. So really great way to add texture is to do overlay, fill with 50% gray, and then add your noise onto that gray. So I'm going to zoom in here so we can really see what that noise looks like. We're going to go to filter, noise, and then we're going to add noise. And you'll see that it's now starting to pick up a lot of that noise. And I think it's looking pretty okay. So we're going to hit OK there, and I think that that's a lot of noise. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to blur it just a little bit. So we're going to go to filter, Gaussian blur, and we're going to blur 0.4. Sure, let's see what it looks like before and after. Okay, so it's given it that a little bit of a kind of papered texture. And especially in these areas, you can see that it has that nice little paper texture. Okay, so we're going somewhere with this. We're going somewhere. Something is happening. Who knows what it is, but it is happening. Something that I might want to do here is add in this white is like not necessarily doing it for me. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab our vector smart object, which is right here. And we are just going to go in and I'm going to take that white out. We're going to make it not that. So I can double click here. And because it is a smart object, I can just find it in Illustrator. We're going to come down here and I'm just going to take off that stroke. We're going to save it. And when I close it, it should update right here. But, oh, we made a copy. That's right. Okay, we are losing the half page completely, but I also like this vibe a lot more of what's happening with this kind of collage. So let's put the half page back in. It's kind of a U2 vibe. I agree. It is kind of, it's very dimensional. And let's do this. Let's actually put the title across the top here and let's mask it out of that hair. So this is a really cool textural element to have, but let's use this one and we're going to put it across the top here. And again, we're going back and forth between Illustrator and Photoshop. So we're going to put it at the top here. And I'm going to put it behind. So this, the 50% gray sometimes gets a little bit wonky in Photoshop. So I'm trying to be conscious of that. And I'm going to see. Okay, so I am going to need to make a copy of this. So with this, I'm going to Control-Shift-Option-E. Lots of hotkeys there. And then I want to make I need to make a copy so that I can see where the back of this head is. So I'm going to turn off some of these layers and then make a copy just of the hair. So we have the actual base there. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to use this as my selection. So I'm going to do select subject right here, and it should find the hair for me. There's a lot going on, so I'm very curious. Cool. And we are going to contract this by 1 pixel. And now we're going to put that mask onto the type and just invert it. So now it's behind that type. So now we can turn all of our layers back on. And now we have this really cool, oh, I am not mad about this at all, chat. It is looking cool. We are going to do one more, and I'm actually going to do this in inverse because I really like the way that it's kind of all over everything. And we're going to turn our noise back on. And something that I like to do is anything that is full white, I like to bring it down to be a little bit less. Actually, I'm not mad about this. Chat, oh, I have an idea. Should we put our paper texture that we generated in Firefly into the text? I'm going to do it, and you can tell me yes or no. Okay, so here's what I mean. This paper texture that we have, I'm going to paste it on top. Let's just do pixels. Paste it on top here. And then all I need to do is in between these layers and this group, I can hold Alt and then click on it and it will go into the object. And I think that looks really cool. I probably need to play around with the levels here. So I am going to add in just a brightness contrast. And again, holding Alt or Option to lock it to that object. We're gonna make it a lot brighter, but then have a ton of contrast. Okay, I think that that looks okay. Let's go ahead and move this around and see if we can get more of that texture around it. Okay, yeah. I'm gonna use the clone stamp here. And what's cool is with it locked in, the clone stamp can actually just like brush in extra pieces of texture. So it's cloning basically like this line down here. I can clone that up to another place and add in some more folds and some more of that, of those kind of pieces. Cool. Okay, so let's turn this on and off because that happens sometimes. And I'm not mad about it, chat. Are you mad about it? It's kind of cool. We got about 10 minutes left, and I know that we got like really crazy here. But is there anything else that we want to add to this to kind of pull it together? What I'm thinking is that this could use a frame. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a frame that is just the size of our artboard. And then I'm going to scale it down. Oh, I put that in the wrong place, chat. I put that in the wrong place. I need to put it on top of everything. And what I'm going to do actually is I'm going to put everything in, issue number. Nice. I'm going to put everything in a group here just because I'm going to mask it. So we're going to mask it to the size of this rectangle because I want this like little border around it. So we're going to mask here, and then the background, I'm going to do just the green color that we have. Where is it? Because we didn't use that anywhere else. Yeah. This is good. This is good. This is going to get nothing there. This is going to get like a blue border. Let's see what that looks like. Okay, so let's take this up. Let's do 50. And chat, the noise is like really messing me up. And my Photoshop's done this a few times. I'm not sure why. There we go. Okay, so we got the border there, and someone saying issue number. Yes, we have. We got about 8 minutes to get an issue number on here. This is looking really good, chat. I am not mad about this at all. 0% anger. Okay, so let's put the issue number down at the bottom, and let's do that same technique that we did in the first thing. So this will be issue number 1. Somebody saying OMG save. Absolutely not. That is not how I do my live streams. If you've ever joined a live stream with me, you know that's not my vibe. All right, so I'm going to do issue number 1, and we are going to do that same effect by creating our crumpled paper, going to Mockup Beta, and we are going to make. You know what? I didn't like as much of this paper as I did this like crazy pattern here. Well, hold on. If I can get it on this. Nah. Don't love it. All right, I'm going to put it on the crazy one. All right. I really liked what happened with this one. Andrew has anti-save. Anti-design, anti-save. Absolutely. Who's that? Who's going on down there? All right. So we're going to make the mock-up. This one's going to assess. All right, and let's just pull this around, and I'm probably gonna want to, yep, it's probably gonna go right along this edge here, will be where I can get all of the pieces. Actually, let's just scale it down. There we go. Cool, that's good. Issue number 1 looks good. We're gonna expand that. I'm gonna grab just the type here. Cool. Paste that in. I am going to want that to be white, actually. All right, put it over here. We're going to turn off that noise because it's causing a whole thing. Let's put issue 1 right there. And I am going to probably try to put the, yes, the paper texture in with it. And so the paper texture, it looks like there's some missing here. So I just need to brush that in to make sure that I can get some texture going on it. There we go. Issue number 1, not mad about it at all. So I'm going to turn the noise back on. And chat, I'm honestly not mad about how this turned out. This is kind of cool. It's definitely weird, but it's kind of cool, right? Are we vibing with it, chat? Let me know if we should add anything else or if you see anything that you think would look good on this. Something else that I am going to do real quick is I'm going to add that kind of distressed paper texture over everything. So let me go back to Firefly and let's just do distressed paper texture. Weirdly likable. Please write my bio. Cool weirdness. Yeah. Yeah. Hi, it's me. White intense. I guess it's a hot mess in a good way. We got there. Again, this is a stream about anti-design. We did it. We found the style in the weirdest way. Love this. Love, love, love. It's not right. It's not right, though. I just need, like, crumpled paper. Wrinkled paper texture. White. It's a hot mess in a good way. Yeah, sure. Chat. All right, we got a couple minutes here. Make sure you stick around. Ryan Selvey is coming up right after this, and he's got everything new in tech and design for you with his show File New. Really great show to watch if you want to tune in. And we're just going to put this over the whole thing here. I am going to stretch it. Everyone turn your eyes away. And then we're going to change the blending mode here to like a multiply or like a color burn or something to try to get a little bit of that texture to come through. You know what? I am just going to multiply it and then I'm going to add in some brightness contrast. Make it a bit brighter and then get the contrast. All right. And chat, with that, we do have a final piece looking absolutely insane. But not wrong. It's definitely kind of cool. And you know what's really cool? Hold on. We can do this. I didn't even think about this. Chat, what we can do is we could come in here and we could do a hue saturation and we could do a variant cover. We can just cycle through and see if there are any other color schemes that might work for us that would be cool. Oh, chat. I didn't even think about that. That's really fun. So we could do like, maybe like this color scheme a little bit better. You can play around and use the hue saturation to really just flip things up and get super crazy on it. Oh, it's so cool. So if you have not, oh, I promised you, chat. I promised you something. All right. We're gonna hold on, chat. I'm gonna let you see just a preview. I'm just gonna show you a part of, I'm gonna show you one spread of the zine. So the zine is called Half Page. It is coming out at the end of the month. We're still working on how it will be available, but it is created by our friends in the Adobe Live community and artists just like you. And so we may have some for you here at Adobe Live that we can send out. But I do want to show you a little bit of a preview. I have 1 minute to do this, and it is trying to load in so hard. It's really thinking about loading this document right now. Okay, chat, hold on. Chat, hold on. Chat, hold on. 30 seconds. Here we go. It's loading. It's loading. Okay, chat, this is the one. I need to find a good one for you that isn't going to spoil anything. Okay, so we're going to show you a spread of the magazine that was created for Weekend Creative. Some of our favorite people here on the stream. And here we go, y'all. This is one of the spreads of the magazine. An exclusive first look here only on this stream. You can check it out. It'll be coming a little bit later this month. Get excited. It's going to be really incredible, really fun. There is some cool work in this thing, and I can't wait for you to see the cover. It's going to be really fun. So thanks so much for joining me. This has been Anti-Design. We made some weird, crazy stuff. Stick around. Ryan Selby's up next. I'll see you again another time here on Adobe Live. Bye, everybody.